What's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. As always, I hope you're having a phenomenally blessed day. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, set that notification bell down below so you always know when the next video does go live. This is going to be another in the grief series, or whatever it's called. I believe I called it the grief series, but it's not. This is going to be a short video, and it's really just to ask that question. You know, for those of you that have recently lost somebody in your life, and this unfortunately is something that has been a trend over the last year and a half just due to the circumstances that are going on in the world, and it's very sad and very disheartening. However, I think one of the most popular questions when we lose somebody that we love is, does it ever really go away? No. No. It never really goes away. The pain? No. What happens is that we're able to control it, I think is the best way to put it. We're able to deal with it better. We're able to see it as it's just there. It's just there. It's always in the background. But that doesn't mean that something won't happen that'll just make you start bawling your eyes out because you remember them. It doesn't mean that you won't get angry. It doesn't mean that you won't feel sad. It doesn't mean that you won't feel depressed. But the hardest thing when we lose somebody is life still goes on. I think after losing my brother and then after losing my mom, it was kind of hard because it was like, how do I enjoy life again and not feel guilty? Like, how do I go and have fun and laugh and maybe just for a moment forget that they're gone and just focus on the here and the now? How can I do that and not feel bad? I think that's what is so hard with death, because it's like their world ended and we're left having to navigate world without them, and also knowing that the world still moves forward. And that's part of the worst part about it. It's like, I don't know if I could ever be happy, because how do I know that they're happy? And whereas you might not know if they're happy, you just have to trust that they're in a better place. And depending on what people think about, because, you know, everybody believes something different. There are people who believe that when we die, we just die. There's nothing left. Like, there is nothing else. We just die. And there are people who believe in heaven and people who believe in hell. There are people who believe in just the ether and spirit world, you know, and whatever I believe, it doesn't matter. I will just talk about it from my own viewpoint, and then however it fits for you is how it fits. I know that both my brother and my mom are happy. I know that my grandmother is happy. My grandmother passed away last year too. I know that they're happy. I know that they're not feeling pain like what humans feel anymore. And I know that they're at peace. And it's like, if they're at peace, regardless of what you believe in, there still has to be some sense of knowing that they've moved on and they're in peace, right? Even if there is nothing, doesn't that mean that you're at peace because there's no need to feel anything anymore? And if they were alive, would they tell you to stay depressed and sad and miserable and to let your life end because they're not here anymore? I can't imagine anybody that we love would ever tell us that. But we feel guilty for wanting to enjoy the fruit of life. And that sometimes is the most difficult part of this. And that's why it's like, does the pain ever truly go away? No, it doesn't. But you remember what it is to be human again. And not just the Walking Dead. When it first happens, for days, weeks, months, sometimes even the first few years, it's like, The sun is shining, but it's casting shadow. You hear people laugh, and all you want to do is cry. You don't want to remember what it was that you did and the good times that you had with them because it's too painful. And that's where you have to remember that life will always move on. Are you willing to continue to go forward with it? I'm not saying not to take time and be still. You have to grieve. You have to grieve, but does grieving ever end? No, it doesn't. And can you be okay with that? You know, there's still times when I'm trying not to bawl my eyes out on these videos when I talk about it. You know, it's not easy. It's simple, but that doesn't make it easy. And the only thing that we're promised in life is death, and yet as a society, we're so afraid of death that we almost can't move when it comes down to it. We really revert into this time of being afraid, of being scared, of being, it's like they turned out the lights and it's like out goes the light and I'm nothing. And because we're so afraid of death, it means that when another person experiences a death in the family, whereas you might feel bad for them, it's hard to feel empathy for them, even if you've experienced your own sense of death in your own family, because we don't want to feel that again. When my mom passed away, she had taken care of so many people. I loved so much, you know, all the wrong people. And I'll never forget. I'll never forget. And she was sick at the hospital. She asked me to come here, and I came here and I held her hand, and she looked at me and she had tears in her eyes and she said, "Where are they all? I helped so many people and why aren't they here?" Mom had been a rock for so many people and no one could be that rock for her. Losing my mom hurt. But what hurt the most is how much people could hurt her. It was like I was looking at a child that I had, and my child's heart was broken and there was nothing that I could do. There was nothing that I could say to make her feel better. And I couldn't convince a single one of those people to come and see her. And so, for me, what hurt the most in losing my mother was that I couldn't fill her up with the love that she so desperately needed. Because as the saying goes, love thy neighbor. And we've all forgotten that the saying is, love thy neighbor as you love thyself. And my mom loved all of her neighbors, but she never knew how to love herself. And the grief of that has weighed on me since the day she's passed, since the moment she left. And my belief in grief is that while we miss them, I think a deeper part of us misses that we never got to tell them everything that we really felt, whether it was good or bad. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I say, tell them this, that. Tell them now. It doesn't matter if they hear you or not. You get it off your chest. You're the one that's here. When I told my mom that after she had passed, I said, Mom, you loved all the wrong people and you couldn't see the people who loved you. She came to me and she says, I see you now. And I cried for a whole day about that. Just like when she left. So for those of you that wonder if the grief ever leaves, no, the grief never leaves. What happens is it becomes bearable. It becomes easier to deal with. It's like the dull ache in your heart. And if you ask them for signs, they'll tell you, they'll show you, they'll give you those signs. And be brave enough to know that that's a sign from them and not just some random ass coincidence that happens, because in my line of work, there's no such thing as coincidences. So when the feeling comes, don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to feel it. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you less desirable. It doesn't mean anything except that you're human, like the rest of us. Because we all are that, aren't we? Human. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, set that notification bell down below so you always know when the next video does go live. Until next time, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love. Until we meet each other again. Peace out. I love y'all. Bye.